Hello guys, this is Maximus Legend. I'm making a video this time in English explaining what I did last time in Spanish. This time I'm gonna try to make it a little bit shorter. I believe that I did bring a lot of details that it wasn't really needed in my Spanish version. So this time I'm gonna try to make it a little bit shorter. Anyway, this video is basically telling new people what to do once you start Battle Titan. Because this game is very complex, and at the very beginning, can feel like somebody can feel like very lost because of how many stuff this game have and the complexity of it. So, starting right away with the video, right? Going to the question mark that you see on your left corner of yours on the screen, right? Is you're gonna find that there's a guide. Here in your guide, guys, I really recommend you to actually watch this guide because it's gonna at least set you to the right path to what you should do when you start Battle Titan. Like for example, how to kind of like set up your hanger, how to pretty much personalize and customize your control settings when you when you go to battle. That is very important because the more comfortable you feel with your settings, the more efficient you're gonna be in the battle. Another thing is when you're trying to find an enemy, this game actually helps you to know what kind of type of enemy you're gonna be facing off, and there are actually three type of enemy. There's a light bots, there's a medium bots, and there's the heavy bots. The light bots are gonna be shown with a triangle, medium bots are gonna be shown with a circle, and the heavy bots are gonna be shown with a square. So what is very important in this is that once you actually learn this, you're gonna without having a line of sight to to your opponent, you're gonna be able to see what your opponent have, what kind of type of bot he might have, or what kind of type of bot you might encounter. The same thing applies when you're with your team. You might not be able to see your team, but you might be able to know what kind of type of bot they might have based on the same mark. Another thing is the weapon range. One thing is the weapon range, and another thing is the maximum effective range. The weapon range, for example, of the Mangler is 350 meters. You can start shooting at that amount of range, but the maximum effective range of the Mangler is 100 meters. So what it means is when you're fighting at 350 meters, you're gonna some of your bullets might not really hit your target, but when you are at 100 meters away from your opponent, 100% of those bullets are gonna be hitting your target. So you actually are going to be able to be more efficient in battle when you actually use your weapons at their maximum effective range. The same thing is applied to Sting, Tormentor, Hammer, and Javelin. Here is also explained about the battle damage, score winning. So I actually recommend you to stop by and start reading this thing first once you start in the game. Another thing that is very important for you to know is that in this game there are three levels. There's a T1, T2, and T3. T3 being the maximum level that you can actually achieve for the game. Another thing, the next thing will be the settings. In the settings, you can actually save your account or secure your account when you log into your Facebook account. Right now, that's the only method that we have right now in order to save our accounts, right? So, for example, if you wanna change from device to another device, and you wanna be able to upload your account in that other device, all you need is that your account was saved on a Facebook account, and then use that Facebook account into your other device, and you're gonna be able to upload it. The same thing goes, with battle camera sensitivity. That's basically tells you, how sensitive uh, is going to, the controls are going to be when you start, going up and down, left and right. Pretty much that's what it tells you. Then there's the name. When you start a game, it's gonna give you something like tight end and a certain number. All you gotta do is just press one time and then a second time, so then you can start so you can actually change the name, and then type the name that you want to actually on your account. So once you finish, all you gotta do is done, and then save. Once you save, I said change committed. When I change committed, it is. Once it tells you change committed, all you gotta do is just close, and then you're gonna be able to have the name that you want for your account. The next thing is the cops. The matchmaking is gonna be based on the cops that you have right now. Pretty much, you start the game with about 1,000 cops, but the more you win, the more cops you get. So, in other words, the same thing applies when you lose. If you lose, then you lose cops. But if you win cops. So basically, the matchmaking, what it's gonna do is he's going to be pairing you with humans, right, or AI that actually have the same amount of cops that you have. I mean, pretty much about the same. There's a little bit of range, right? But that way is gonna be pairing you with players who have about the same amount of skill that you have in battle. The next thing called the energy cells is the currency of this game. Energy cells. With energy cells, you pretty much do almost everything. As buy and buy. For example, if I wanna buy a little Sean, it tells me that I need 300 energy cells. Right now I have 66,000 energy cells. So that's one thing that you can do with your energy cells to be able to buy your bots. Another thing is when you want to buy your weapons. When you want to buy your weapons, for example, let's say that I want to replace my weapon, and then I want to go to my to a stand that I don't have. It tells me that I need to spend 40,000 energy cells in order to buy this weapon. So what this pretty much tells you is that you need to recollect. You need to start collecting energy cells in order to pretty much do everything. The same thing goes with the modules that applies to the weapons and applies to the bots. For example, I put on my mangler. One of my manglers I put reinforced ammunition and 2 magazines, and I have them right now on T2 because when you buy them, it's on T1. So what you're gonna be doing later on, once you start setting up everything that goes to that bot, is then it's going to start allowing you to start then upgrading stuff to T2. So mostly you can start upgrading your weapons. Once you customize your whole bot, you can actually then start upgrading your weapon to T2 without having to upgrade your robot to T2. But then if you want to upgrade, for example, the rest of the things of your bot, then you need to upgrade your robot first in order to then upgrade the rest of the things. But you have to know that it's not only that you don't only have to worry about the weapons and the models that you might put into your weapons. You have to worry about what kind of equipment I'm putting into my bot when it comes to his armor plates, also with his legs, and also within the inside part of your bot. So there's a lot of things you actually have to take in consideration when you start a game. I'm gonna be making later on a second video, making like another type of guide to help you have a better understanding of what kind of weapons, what kind of equipment you might want to put into your bot in order to have a more efficient battle. But you have to understand that you customize things in this game based on your style. You have to first find your style first, and once you find your style, then that's gonna guide you to to tell you, hey, I'm a brawler type of guy. Then you have to start customizing your hanger and your bot based on a more brawler situation to be more efficient. The same thing goes with the players who decide to be more of a supporter type of player. You know, you have to first understand what kind of player you want to play, right? And then once you understand that, then all you gotta do after that is customize your bot based on what kind of style that you decide to play. Something that is very important is to understand, like for example, you can see it on my right corner, about the side right corner, right? You see that it says no available space. You have to understand that when you start a game, the game actually with no robot at your hangar, you have up to 6 space. So each bot has a specific space that they actually occupy. For example, live bots like Little Sean and Might, they take 1 space. But when you go to the medium type of bots, like for example, what is Ravager, what is Nelly, and what is Mao, what is Cormoran, right? That I'm also gonna be later on going to be making a video Cormoran that I actually won. um, all you pretty much need to know is once you start finding out the type of player that you are, is to understand that you have a specific space of 6 spaces, and based on those 6 spaces, you have to configure your hanger. So, for example, if you want to go with a complete medium hanger, right, you will only be able to put up to 3 bots at your hanger because each medium bot takes 2 spaces. So then you take those 2 spaces and then multiply by 3, then you have 6, right? The same thing goes with their heavy version, which is, for example, in this case, is a Turpis. The Turpis takes up to 3 spaces. So in this case, you can only you decide to have 2 heavy bots. You will only be able to put up to 2 Turpis. There, you are not gonna be able to put anything other than that 2 Turpits because each Turpits actually occupy 3 spaces. Now the same thing goes with the little ones. With the little ones, you have, they actually occupy 1 space. So then that means that you can actually set up your hanger to have up to 6 little bots. So again, that's very important for you to know that based on the type of player that you wanna be, you start customizing your hangar with the weapons, with the models, and set up your hangar based on the bots that you want to have. Another thing that is very important about this game, and that's something that is very great about this game also, is because you can play with your friends. I mean, let's say, for example, in my case, I'm an Android player. If I want to play with a friend that has an iOS device, it's not, it's not going to prohibit me to not play with him, because in this game you can play with both platforms. So, for example, I want to play with my friend, and my friend name is, for example, Spartacus, right? And he used an iOS device. right? So what I want to do first, I want to go to, that you see like 3 liter person, right? On your right side of the screen, 3 liter persons, right? You're pressing that, and then right here you press on the in-game name that he actually put on the game. So if he actually named himself as Spartacus, all you gotta type there is Spartacus, and then done. And then if somebody name is Spartacus, all you gotta do is click on the name, and that's it. You're gonna be able to find that person, and then send a friendship request. So then later on, you can play with him. Now, once you have your friends, right, you can do squad. If you're like one of those persons who like to play a lot of squad and want to play alongside your friends, you can squad with them. Um, there's a recommendation players, which pretty much are those players who you actually experienced a battle before, or your friends. All you gotta do then is just press on your friend, send an invitation to the squad, then they will join, and then you can go to battle, and have really good battles with your friend. um Now, something that I actually can recommend you to do is to buy premium. Premium, it only costs like $10, which is like 30 days. You have another one for 15 days, which is like $7, and then you have one for 7 days, which is like $5. It gives you 50% more energy cells once you finish the battle. But the great thing about is that within the next update, you will be getting 75% instead of 50%. You will be getting 75%, which means a lot more energy cells. So that's gonna help you upgrade your stuff a lot more faster, and to actually be able to acquire T2 and then 3 a little bit more faster than probably before. So going back to the customization of the bar, once you actually finish customization with all your bar, right, and the models, and you start increasing that, you have to understand that before you decide to upgrade for example, in this case, Nelly, before I wanted to increase Nelly to T3, I needed to upgrade everything that Nelly had to T2 before it allows me to upgrade the Nelly to T3. So there's like, you gotta take step by step. It's not something that you can try to skip things in order to be able to achieve it quicker. You have to go step by step. You have to upgrade all the things first in order to upgrade something specifically that you actually want. Um, Another thing that is very important and to understand is there's, as you can see, there's something called AP damage resistant, and then HE damage resistant. That actually, it tells you that he have a resistance based on two type of weapons that you might find in the game. One is the bullet type of weapon, which is like the Mangler, Tormentor, Hammer, Inquisitor. And then the other one, which is the HE, which stands for heat, is a missile type of weapons, like the Sarisa, Javelin, Stings. So what you want to do is, and this is my recommendation, is to try to balance your bot based on those two type of weapons. So whenever you go to battle, you have an equal, or about almost an equal amount of resistance to both type of weapons, because you're going to be facing both type of weapons once you go out into battle. So that's another thing that is very important to have and to understand, to go and try to make it as more balanced as possible. Um, and I mean, this is pretty much all about the video. I mean, in this part, and later on, I'm gonna make a second part of the video, which is going to be helping you with a simulator that I'm gonna be bringing, and I'm gonna be also be sharing with you guys to help you understand what kind of customization you want for your bots. Um, to actually fit your style of player that you actually are. So because that's very important, as I said before, if you are more, if you are actually more of a brawler type of player, then you have to understand that to be efficient in battle, then you have to customize your bot to become more of a brawler and not actually customize your bot with long support with support models because like then it's not, you're not gonna be able to have an efficient bot because of that. So that I'm gonna be explaining that in a later video. I apologize about my English, since Spanish is actually my first language. But I actually trying my best to give you, I, all the knowledge at least that I have of Battle Titan, and you can actually acquire it easier, so you can enjoy the game a lot better, and you can jump into the game with as fewer question as probably a player who just jump into the game with no knowledge whatsoever. So this is pretty much it, guys. On to the next video. If you like the video, please give me a like, subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna be uploading a lot of stuff which related to Battle Titan. I'm gonna be doing live stream with a really good high quality, and I'm also gonna be uploading like versus, like for example I did one before of like Adam's Mile versus Rude, which is a very good battle. Go on and see it. And yeah, I'm gonna be working this channel in both languages. I'm gonna be working the channel in Spanish. I'm gonna be working this channel in English. For those of you who only understand Spanish, you can come to my channel and you can look for information, and it will be there. And for those of you who only understand English, you can also come into my channel and look for videos and look for information, and it will be there. Soon I'm gonna be uploading a video of Cormorant. I'm gonna be making a review of that bot. And then again, I mean, if you have a friend and that just downloaded the game and you want him to have a better understanding of the game, share this video to him. He's gonna appreciate it a lot, because then you're gonna be able to help him understand the game a lot faster. So this is it, guys. I appreciate you to watch me. I appreciate your support, and until the next videos. Bye.